Okay, so it's kind of boring just watching Timothy and me work on this thing, so I might as well talk about it while we're going. As you all know in a previous video that me and Timothy had taken this tractor apart back probably a month and a half, 2 months ago, and it sat in the shop all apart for all that time. Well, it's back together now, and I'm just going to continue to post these videos of it being put back together. The reality is I'd really like to restore this tractor back to its original condition, but right now I just don't have the time to do it. For the most part, it just needs a severe cleaning. Strip down, take all the tin work off, clean it all up, strip down with good degreaser, get all the grease off, sandblast it, and paint it green. That's really all this tractor needs right now. There's a couple of gauges that need to be replaced, and that's what I will do when I get around to it. Right now Timothy has worked on the lights, and they all work, even the little red one in the back. So when you're going down the road at night, you see this little red light. Yeah, so while I'm doing this work, and we are working together pretty good. You see me cleaning up faces of I guess you would call them orifices, where you mount the radiator parts and other things. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I know what I'm doing right there. You see me spraying that can. That's where the steering worm drive goes in, and I had to clean it up real nice before I put it back together. But anyways, I might as well talk about England a little bit, because I haven't posted but 1 or 2 videos on England, and England was a really fun time. I drove almost 1,500 miles in England, ranging from Leeds to Stonehenge, all the way down. Salisbury was another place, over to Dorstone, and then I even went into Wales and saw some of that countryside down to Hay-on-Wye, I guess is how they say that, which was a really neat town. Got a ticket there. Yep, cost me £25 to park, because the sign was in, I imagine, Welsh, and in smaller letters underneath the Welsh language was pay to park here, which I and Teresa did not see. I know there's some people that said that George and John didn't treat me very English-like or with much hospitality, but I will say that that is not true at all. George and Liz were nice enough to allow me and Teresa to spend the night at their home. George and Liz also treated me and Teresa to fish and chips, which I had never had in my life before, and I never realized that the dish was so large. The fish and chips was good. I had haddock. I believe George and Liz had cod. No, actually Liz didn't eat any fish and chips, but me and Teresa had haddock and George had cod. So yeah, it was a great time. We talked a little bit, and then went to bed because I had traveled that day. We were on an airplane for like 7 hours, and then we drove on up and just had a really good time with George and John and all the other crew. I'm sorry I don't remember their names, because honestly I'm terrible with names, but I know John's son was there and his wife. I cannot for the life of me. I want to call her Linda, but I don't think that's what her name was. But anyways, she was very nice also. Yeah, we drank a lot of coffee, talked a lot of BS, and as you saw in that video, that was only probably 1/3 or less of what we talked about. There was a lot more going on while I was there. Yeah, I found George to be very hospitable, and he is welcome at my home anytime. Same goes for John and his wife, and anybody wants to use New Jersey as a base to go see maybe New York City, Philadelphia, or anything like that, from George Saunders' channel, is more than welcome to stay here. I have extra bedrooms and beds, and things would go quite well. Plenty of room in my house. Yeah, so you see Timothy he's cleaning up the lower water pipe that goes to the radiator, and that thing was a real pain in the ass to put in. It really was. I couldn't even tell you how big of a pain in the ass that was. I actually ended up making a new gasket for that, which I will show in a later video. Did I make it for that one? No, I didn't make it for that one. I think I already had. No, I made it for the upper one. This one here was I had a good gasket, so it was fine. What else was I going to say about this? Oh yeah, while we were in England, we went and saw a lot of different dealerships, and just had in general, a good time. You know, driving around the countryside. Stopped at a couple of castles along the way. Timothy's butt crack is showing pretty good right there, so all you whining, complaining little bitches about Tim's butt crack, you can write in the comment section below right now. This was a lot of fun to do this project, actually, with Timothy. He's, you know, he's quite an interesting soul, to say the least. He has a pace to his own, which is not my pace, honestly. I'm a little faster worker, but Timothy seems to be a little more thorough when it comes to putting these things together. Not saying that I'm not thorough, it's just he's slower at being thorough than I am. And, you know, he gets sidetracked by his telephone a little more often than I do. But anyways, like, talk about getting sidetracked, I can go back to talking about England again. We stayed at the Pandy Inn in England, in Herefordshire, Dorstone. I would recommend the pub to anyone, and I also would recommend the bed and breakfast. The bed and breakfast was awesome, other than the fact that I accidentally locked Teresa in the room for like 3 hours, and she was not a happy camper when I finally did come staggering in after drinking about 3 pints of beer and a shot of, well, actually it wasn't a shot, it was a whole damn glass of Jameson. And as most of you know, I'm not much of a drinker, but when you're in a pub, you can't just stand there and talk sipping on a water. It's kind of not what they're about. And I had a good time in the Pandy Inn pub. I also had a good time in the Pandy Inn bed and breakfast. The breakfast the next morning was very good, and you know, Teresa got over her being locked into the room pretty quickly, which I'm happy for, because I really didn't mean to do that, and it just worked out that way. But whatever. It was the weirdest door lock ever, if you ask me. I mean, the owner of the bed and breakfast, she says, "Oh, to lock it, just pull up on it, and that'll lock the door." Well, okay. I did that from the outside. I pulled up on it, and then when I pushed back down on it, the door opened up. So it wasn't really locked. It wasn't locked. Now, the funny thing is, I had the key, and when I realized that it wasn't locked, I just pushed, you know, I just locked the door. What I didn't realize was that when you lock that door, it's locked, completely locked. So if you're on the outside, you can't get in, and if you're on the inside, you can't get out. And which isn't really a very good, you know, a very good thing for someone that doesn't like being locked in a room, like Teresa. The funny thing was, when I came staggering in and she wanted to punch me in the face and kick me in the balls and throw me down the stairs, she had a pair of pants that was all tied together, making a room. Okay, so it's starting to look like a tractor again anyway. Got the radiator in, radiator. I think it looks painted. Timothy says it's not. It is copper. That was made in Ireland. Everything fit up really well. Made it up very well. I just got to put the generator, mount that up, obviously put the hydraulic tubes and everything else on here. I've siliconed this gasket here that goes to the worm gear for the steering. It is power steering, obviously. Let's see, what else have we done, me and Tim? We put in the lower water jacket down here. Seems to be okay. I don't know till we put water in it. We siliconed the water pump, and yeah, we're just trying to get this tractor together because the end goal is actually that farm off them. I have 2 tires right there that fit on that tractor, so I mean one of the 2 tires will fit on there just fine. I think I even have another one in the back there. I've got several tire options for that tractor. That was my grandfather's. My grandmother and grandfather bought that brand new in 1950. They had two of them, a 49 and a 50. The 49 might, well, we won't talk about that, but it got broken and they scrapped it. But that tractor will be running again pretty soon. So I just got to get this deer behind me done. And we're moving right along. I mean, we've come a long way. Hopefully tomorrow morning we'll be up and running with it, and we'll be okay. But we're just to make it known that there are, hold on, I think in the previous, take it back on. You're moving too fast. In the previous video, I thought that there were O-rings that went in there. I was wrong. There's actually these aluminum washers that go in there, and that's all that holds that together, keeps it from leaking, are these two aluminum washers that are there. And there. Mr. Potato Head, what are you doing?
Moving shit.
Moving shit? I already cleaned it out.
There you go.
Yeah. What do you think I was doing while you were there picking your ass? Here, you might want to tighten that back up. So yeah, we're just doing the nuts and bolts here. We polished that end up yesterday, actually Cody did, and I just got done polishing this part here off. This is the water jacket. This is where the thermostat goes. Now, I'm just going to use black sealant on that. There's really no reason for me to put a gasket on there because gaskets are unreliable. You know what? I'm actually going to make a gasket and put on there. So I'm going to give you a lesson on making gaskets if you don't know already. So stay tuned, I'll be right back with my gasket.